and we're going to get started because I want to talk about the 60-minute sales machine that will help you turn just 1 hour a week into predictable, consistent sales revenue. So, welcome, my amazing women. Let's pray and let's get into it. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this time together. Thank you so much for just the blessings I can pour into these women that so that they can have a business by God's design, one that is prosperous, one that is impactful, and one that creates kingdom wealth so they can give more, bless more, and change broken and corrupt systems. Just thank you for it and praise you for it. And Holy Spirit, thank you for being present. Thank you for peace and calm and tech to go great. Amen. Hi, Crystal. All righty. So this is going to be short and sweet today. If you are new to me, in the Kingdom Lens over on Substack, I will share my screen in a moment, kind of to show you where things are, where you can find replays of the Be a Human First framework and the activation events formula that I've been talking about all of April. Or you can go back and binge that content if you want. But oh my goodness, we are in the second quarter in May. Do you believe that? Oh my goodness. And I have to ask you guys the same question I ask myself every single month and then every beginning of the year. Like, what is that golden domino that needs to fall? What is that domino that needs to fall this month for my people to get a breakthrough, for consistent revenue to keep coming in? And every single time, that one domino that needs to fall, with that one thing that if you do well, if I do well, will make everything else easier or unnecessary. Because some of you, I know, Brolin, isn't it flying by? Some of you are just doing too many things. You're all over the place. And if you can harness what I've been talking about, the Be a Human First framework, more specifically, going live using the activation events formula that I talked about last Friday, but doing the thing, everything else becomes simpler and easier, and a lot of things that you're doing become unnecessary. Okay. In 2026, the answer to everything that you're doing is presence. Is presence. Some of you have heard me talk about the trust recession. My coach and mentor has been talking about the trust recession since 2023. We came from an era post-COVID where influx of people in the online space that have overpromised, underdelivered, and some of you have purchased from those coaches and mentors who have overpromised, underdelivered, and you didn't get a return on your investment. You got a course that was just outdated material. You got just videos to walk through, and you thought you were getting access to the coach and the mentor, and you didn't. Some of you have been burned, like I have been in the past, bought a product that I thought would be absolutely amazing, and it was just like, I could chat GPT that thing, right? So we're past the trust recession. We are in a no trust environment now, okay, because of the AI revolution that has hit the online space. Last year, the AI revolution, written content in 2025, it didn't go very well for some people. People who made the money were the ones selling the shortcut, right? People who made the money were the ones selling the shortcut or the AI tool. The people who used that shortcut lost their voice. They lost market trust. I tend to say that they lost their mind in a sense. Like, what are we doing? Why are we outsourcing our voice, right? And I talked about that, how the pendulum swings back and forth. Mass automation into relationship-based marketing era. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back. I'll share it right now. It's gonna look kind of funny here a second first, while I'm sharing my screen, but hopefully you guys can see this. And for those of you who are like, I don't know what you're talking about with a Be a Human First framework, I would love to learn about how the market shifted. You are going to go to the Kingdom Lens under my profile, right? The Kingdom Lens. And you're going to, this is for paid members. If you're a paid member, all their resources are there. But right here, the Be a Human First framework for relationship-based sales. You can see everything that I've done on the podcast, the articles, the live sessions that I did. Some of them you're going to need to be a paid Kingdom Lens Substack by Design member in order to get access to a few of those things. But it's only $7 a month or $57 a year. And the little one's popping up. Hold on. All right, we're going to stop sharing. It's going to look silly here a second. All right, amazing. All right, let's get back to this. So where was I? I get so I know we're building life first businesses, and I love when he comes in because you can have a successful business being home, raising little ones, but then I get so distracted. That's why I don't pay attention to the chat. It's like squirrel. So we have that pendulum that's swinging back and forth, right? And AI you've seen is dominating video. We now see A- AI pictures, AI videos, like we don't even know what's real anymore. So we have entered a no trust environment. And your audience has been duped by video content that looks real but has no soul, right? You know what I mean. I'm preaching to the choir here. And the moment that your ideal client, your audience have realized that they've been duped, like overpromised, underdelivered, or oh my goodness, that's not even real, they're going to stop buying from everyone who feels automated. Please hear me on this. They are going to stop buying from everyone who feels automated. This past week, I talked about the faceless marketing era. The faceless marketing era is over. Okay. You can't sell in your emails or even in your DMs really without someone knowing that you are a live person. If you aren't live and showing up, selling, hosting something I call activation events in as little as 60 minutes a week, you are a ghost in a zero trust environment. And the only thing that collapses time and builds authority is evidence of life. Your human presence. Isn't that amazing? Isn't this just an amazing time to be alive? That God created us as human beings to be present, and we get to tap into that. Can I get a yes and amen? I'm getting Holy Spirit goosebumps. Now is the time for kingdom women who are called to the business space to step into their authority and go live and be present and do something I call activation events. Last Friday, and then in the Be a Human First series that I went through all of the month of April and the Kingdom Lens, I showed you where to find it, right? And on the Kingdom Business Revolution podcast in the articles, you can go where I showed you, binge it. I see, yes, yes, yes. Oh, hi, Adita. I probably pronounced your name incorrectly. I'm sorry. So you can go find it. You can binge the information. You can listen to it. So much good stuff there. But if you aren't where you want to be in your business, and some of you aren't, some of you are in the same place you were 2 years ago. No judgment. I mean, there's not, but you're holding yourself back. I know a lot of you are. I know because we've had those conversations together. And chances are it's because you've been chasing every strategy that comes up, every shiny object, getting bad advice from, hi Kira, bad advice from coaches who don't know how to help you have a profitable business by God's design. Now, I am not knocking other coaches because we only know what we know at that time. Okay. But since 2019, I can confidently say that now. I have had so many conversations in the past couple weeks, seeing that you are being taught outdated strategies. I invest to be in rooms where seven-figure coaches that are going to eight figures. Some of those rooms are $797 for a 2-hour intensive, just sitting listening to them. I invest in those because I want to up-level myself and help my clients up-level themselves too. And since 2019, I've listened to people sound the alarm about like every email, online, if you don't jump on this trend, you're going to be left behind. And that has never proven to be true. I need someone to hear this right now. There is one strategy you can leverage in 2026 to explode your business. I did this last year. I'm going to explain what it is, the live selling. Most of you have heard me talking about this already in the activation events. I'm going to explain what happened in 2025 for those of you that don't know. But I have never jumped on trends and strategies. Okay. And I have grown more and had repeat clients than because I didn't participate in those trends. I wasn't chasing shiny objects. Some of you have known me and heard me since like 2019, 2020. If you are an old friend, drop old in the chat. If you've been with me since maybe my first virtual event, nothing has changed in what I do. It gets positioned differently because discerning the times and putting myself into rooms where leaders are. But for those of you who may not know me, My background is a kingdom business strategist. I help kingdom women entrepreneurs build and launch a profitable business by God's design. Businesses that are sustainable, impactful, and not dependent on social media. I've always said we can do this without being a slave to social media. Yes, yes. Oh, amazing, amazing. I see some old friends here. Yes, yes, yes. I've always preached that. And inside the Business by God's Design Advisory, I go deep with my women. This is my high touch, my eyeballs on your stuff weekly with scorecards they check in, and they're getting results. Nothing has changed. And I only take 10 women in these spots because I go deep with my people. There are 2 spots open right now. DM advisory if you're interested. Okay. But that's not what this session's about today. Substack is the vehicle and Business by God's Design is the destination. I teach both because discerning the times. There's a mass exodus happening from social media. And I'm putting Substack in the front end of my business. And the front end of what I do is now that trust pathway to a Business by God's Design. But let me say this first before we get into our content today. Whew, I'm on fire. Putting a Substack in front of what you do isn't going to fix a broken offer or a broken message that doesn't convert. Please hear me on this. Putting Substack in front of what you do isn't going to fix an offer or message that doesn't convert. Okay. If you need help with that, message me. I got you. I got you. I can pull something out and see the leaks within 60 minutes. And you can come up with a message, an offer that converts and the next breakthrough. But one of the ways I do and what I do is helping my women position their Substack as that trust pathway into their mid or high ticket offer, whether they're launching a beta founding member program, a coaching offer, a deeper client experience, whatever that is. If you're looking at Substack and wondering how you can actually monetize it to support your business, audience growth, paid offers, or next launch, I'd be happy to talk to you with what that looks like. I have a different ways I can help you out and build it strategically and position it strong. And in the month of May, after we get through this Be a Human First series and the activation events that sell next week, I'm going to be moving into the new series on how I'm monetizing Substack. So stay tuned. And if you aren't a member of the Kingdom Lens Substack by God's Design, you're going to want to upgrade soon. Trust me, you're going to want to upgrade. So you are not here to chase the latest algorithm hack. I know you're not. We're here to be faithful with the Lord's asking us to do. All right. You have to do something different if you want something different. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. So what is your something different for 2026? It's your presence. You can't sell anymore just behind emails. Faceless marketing is over. I talked about that this week. Go listen to the podcast, read the article, listen to the article. You can't sell an email anymore. Just email expecting it to convert, unless it's like a $7 or $17 product, but that's not going to create kingdom wealth. You are a kingdom woman called to the business battlefield to wreak havoc on the enemy of this world. I feel like I'm shouting to my microphone and get fired up. You're called to wreak havoc on the enemy of this world. Your business is called to create kingdom wealth so you can give more, bless more, change broken and corrupt systems, create paradigm shifts, and help the people you're called to serve. A $17 product doesn't do that. Okay. Now, the activation event session and things that I teach you, you're going to be able to create customizable offers, but that lead to and pull the thread to your mid or high ticket, just like we use Substack. All right. So I want you to know that you're not behind. There's nothing wrong with you. And yes, the algorithm is not your friend, but I'm going to tell you the truth that most people in the industry are too scared to say out loud. If you're not going live, you are hiding behind an email, hiding behind a DM. You're a ghost to your people. Okay. We are in a no trust environment. Everyone's feed is AI, automated scripts, the set it and forget it funnels that feel like a cold dial tone or a beep, like no one's there anymore, right? You can't operate a business like that in 2026. Your audience is being duped by robots every single day. And because they're scared of being fooled again, they've stopped clicking. They've stopped opting in. They just started lurking. And most kingdom women think that, oh, I need to make a new ring magnet. Oh, I need to do this or I need this strategy. No, you need to show up live and use your God-given voice and sell behind the screen because We have an amazing tool here to use. And selling is not being spammy. I teach you how to do it in a way that you add massive value, and your customizable offer or your offer is that next step. Okay. So most of you, chances are, have been hiding behind your keyboard, praying for a harvest while refusing to show up in the field and do the thing you need to do. Okay. We are not being efficient by avoiding live video. You're being invisible. And there's statistics out there. Data doesn't lie. I tell my clients numbers tell a story. If you don't know your data and numbers, you don't know the story that your business is telling you. Businesses that live stream make 40% more revenue than those that don't. That's not 4%. That's not 3%. That's 40%. And I tested this in 2025. In 2025, I had the best year ever revenue wise since 2019, since I started. It's grown every year, but 2025 was like, boom. So who here feels like you're doing all the things, posting, emailing, that perfect funnel, but your sales are currently ghosting you, or there's no sales? So drop me in the chat if that's you, because we can fix it. Last Friday, I gave you the activation event framework inside the Kingdom Lens, right? And I'm giving you a strategy here today. Yes, I hear you, going live twice today. Amen. Yes, yes. So, and then I'm going to help you implement and build out your first activation event next Wednesday. For those of you, there's a few spots left. For those of you, that might be your next step. All right. So here's what God showed me when I was preparing for this session. Like Luke 16, Jesus said, whoever is faithful with very little will also be faithful with much. And I want you to sit with that for a moment. I see so many kingdom women in business chasing all of the things, all of the big things, the big launch, the big course, that big funnel, when God is asking them just to be faithful with that one small thing. This is your golden domino. Get out and show your face. There's one thing, if you did it faithfully, consistently, and with a system, that would change everything in your business. Not 10 things, not a new platform, not a new strategy every 90 days, one thing, and start to learn and do it well. And that one thing that has been available to every single one of you for free is sitting in your pocket. Who remembers QVC, the Home Shopping Network? I used to watch that as a kid. My mom, we had to, growing up, we had to like remove that channel from when we finally did get cable. We didn't have cable growing up. I grew up on a farm, right? And for those of you that went live, did you sell? Did you make an offer? Berlin, I know you probably did because you've been in my world for a long time. Joe, did you make an offer? Did you sell? Did you make an offer? And we're going to talk more about this, but did you make an offer? And did you activate your people, or did you just drop a link? Did you activate your people so they raise their hands so you know that you can start now have a conversation with them in their DMs? And get in their DMs and have a conversation and start a relationship? Or did you just throw a link, expect people to buy? Because for those of you who are doing the thing, chances are you're not making sales and revenue because you don't have a system and process in place. A system and process to activate. Yeah, but you're not activating your people. Activating, creating demand, getting them to raise their hand. So then you can start a conversation with them and put them on what I call a Kingdom Connection tracker, but have a conversation with them, right? For those of you, well, we'll get into that in a second, but yes, QVC was addicted. Yeah, we had to turn that off. We had to turn that. My mom was spending way too much money, my poor dad. Well, anyway, we grew up in a farm. We didn't have cable or anything. And then okay. So even when we have things like we have an auction place in our hometown that sell things that maybe people return on Amazon and stuff. And I'm like, ooh, I got this. I got this desk behind me. It's in a box for my little one's room, brand new, like for $35. I think they sell it for $400. And my mom's like, ooh, where's that? I'm like, oh, no. You are not getting access to this thing. I'm not giving you the link. But anyways, the QVC Home Shopping Network, you have that capability in your pocket, and a lot of you aren't using it. Or you tried it and stopped because you didn't have a system. Okay. Your phone showing up live is just one piece. And if you're doing the thing and you're not bringing revenue in, because every single time I hosted an activation event in the strategy that I teach, every single time in 2025, I made a sale. Okay. We are called to take territory, to advance the kingdom, to create kingdom wealth, but we can't if we refuse to show up. So today, I want to give you the framework that I use to turn losing all of my social media accounts, all of my community of almost 1,000 people, a Kingdom Business Revolution community. And I never really was on Instagram, but lost everything, all of my connections, every single thing in 2025. But right before a 9-day launch in January of 2025, that resulted in the highest revenue launch that I had to date back then. And 2025 became the highest revenue year because of implementing live selling events. I no longer remember I said I sit in rooms where other entrepreneurs are, 7-figure entrepreneurs. Some of those rooms I pay $800 just to be like 4 hours, 2 hours on a session, just listening, learning. Okay. We don't need these large launch spikes anymore. That's what that was, that 9-day launch, that launch spike, that, influx of sales. But then I was exhausted. Then I was serving my people. Then I was like, okay, I don't want to do a launch again for a while. That's not what these activation events are. They're repeatable, short, simple events that activate your people and lead to a sale, that create predictable, consistent revenue on a weekly and monthly basis. So using the strategy that I listened and learned and started implementing in 2025 and made it my own and started teaching my clients inside the Business by God's Design Advisory the same thing. Using this strategy now in 2026, since 2025 was the highest income year to date since starting in 2019, 2026 is now blowing Q1 and Q2 year to date out of the water. The revenue models is blowing them out of the water. And this year, I'm on track to hit 6 figures. That infamous 6 figures that we all want to hit. I was able to replace my full-time income and turn my resignation in 2021, 2022, when my little one was 3 months old. So thank the Lord for this business. Thank the Lord that I have the ability to add impact to other amazing women's lives who want to have a business by God's design. One that's simple, repeatable, creates impact and income. But being on track to hit 6 figures is something different. It's something different. It elevates you and you need to elevate yourself. And that's what I want for each and every single one of you. I'm going to invite you into something that's going to change your 2026 if you let it, because that device in your hand, your computer screen, the internet gives you a global pulpit and a storefront for free, especially Substack. And most of you are using it to scroll instead of serve. We're called to take territory, and you can't if you refuse to stand on the territory in the land that you're called to take. And live selling isn't performative or salesy. It's stewardship of your presence. It's you showing up to say, hey, I'm a real person. I'm not a bot over here, right? I had a little one run up, distract me. I'm like, oh my goodness, right? I'm here to lead you, right? That's what it is. That's what you get to be to your people. So today I'm going to show you the 3 gaps that are keeping your audience from buying and how the 5-part activation system closes those gaps for good. All right. For those of you, hello, new people, Kristin, Kevin, hello, midlife injection point, hello. For those of you that are just tuning in, listen to the replay when it's posted, because I did show you that what was I going to say? I did show you where to find where I've been talking about activation events and being a human first over on the Kingdom Lens. It's under the Be a Human First framework and the relationship-based sales. So you can go look. It's sectioned off. You can binge that content. But today I'm talking about the 3 gaps and the 3 reasons why your live streams haven't converted in the past. And it's not your lighting. It's not your logic. This is how we move from a spark, like, I have an idea, I want to talk to people, to a strategy and a system. Because what I know, when you don't have a system in place, you don't keep doing the thing. You do it once and like, that didn't work. Or you did it twice and like, gosh, this isn't working, and you stop. And maybe you haven't been doing live sellings or doing live events at all. And that gets to change today. I gave you all the tools, like I said last Friday, the framework, how I host activation events. There's low lift. They're low lift. These activation events are low lift, repeatable, high value events that make revenue every single time I host them. and help my people get an impact. So I'm not just giving you a spark, but I'm giving you the system to turn your weekly flywheel into a sales and trust activation flywheel. Okay. And that's what we're going to be doing together on May 6th at the activation events that sell intensive, where we're going to build your first one out together and so much more. It's $397. Okay. But when you are a member of the Kingdom Lens, you get $100 off. So if you're a member of the Kingdom Lens, Substack by God's Design on Substack, you get $100 off. Okay. We're gonna install your sales and trust activation event revenue flywheel together on May 6th. And if that's something you're interested in, drop activation in the chat here and I will get you a link. And side note, this price was supposed to go up on April 29th, and I totally forgot, and my virtual assistant didn't remind me. So if you're interested, get in because the price will be going up on Sunday because I'm going to be spending 3 hours with you building this out and helping you install the system so that you will have the complete system for 2026 and beyond. All right. So the number one reason your live streams don't convert is that you went live without an attractor factor. Actually, let me share my screen because this is one of the things that you can do. Learn from me. One of the things you can do is you're going to give someone a teaching tool. And for those of you that have questions or anything like that, I will see what just happened here. I didn't want to do that. I will go back when we're done and we'll go through everything. I'm going to drop the activation events that sell in the chat here a second. Usually I would, whoopsies, hopefully I didn't lose you guys. No, I didn't. Usually there's only a few spots left because I'm going to go deep with the women who are at this session. So I'm going to drop that in here. Can you where we find the info? Yep, I'm going to drop that link. I just dropped that link in here, Jody. There you go. I'm going to share my screen. And once again, it's going to look kind of silly as I'm sharing my screen. Is this what I want? No, that's not what I want. We'll get the hang of this sooner than later. Actually, I think I just exited out of it. I'm going to actually put this Google Doc in the chat for you too. I'll put it in afterwards so we don't get distracted. And I will also put it in the replay for you. It's so much easier on Zoom, but I am going all in on Substack, my wrinkles and all, because on Zoom it'll hide them. And I'm showing you that you can do the thing. Okay, can you guys see the PDF file? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Or you can't give me a thumbs up because I can't see you. That's one thing. I couldn't see my phone switch to laptop. Okay, yes, I saw a heart. Okay, so this is the 5-part system that turns your voice into revenue flywheel, collapses the maybe into yeses in under an hour, and finally activates the lurkers who are lurkers now because they've been burned and because they don't know whether this is a real AI video or not. And finally activates them, the lurkers who are already watching you with all the equipment you're already carrying in your pocket. That was a mouthful. I think I'm definitely going to change it. But this is just a tool. This is a teaching tool. You get to use teaching tools, guys. There are 3 reasons your live streams haven't converted in the past. It's not your lighting. It's not your logic. It's how you move from spark to strategy. Okay. Let me go back to some of my notes. The number 1 reason your live streams don't convert is that you went live without an attractor factor. No hook, no reason, no compelling answer to the question your audience is secretly asking. And what are they secretly asking? You're covering number 1 on the screen with another window. Oopsies. Thank you, Karen. And I wouldn't have saw that because, okay. Hold on. Let me bring you back over here. I think I lost y'all. All right, let me bring this back over here. I probably have multiple screens going on. Oh, I forgot I could split my screen over here. So fun. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh, we can do this. Can you see it now? Yes, you can see it now, and I can see it on my screen. See, you guys can run a six-figure business not knowing what you're doing with tech. You can. So many of you let tech hold you back. Okay. All right. Someone give me a heart again. I think you guys are good. Okay. Where were we? There we go. Some of you went live without the attractor factor. That's number one. No hook, no reason, no compelling answer to the question your audience is asking. Do you guys know what your audience is secretly asking? Do you? Why should I give you an hour of my life? That's what they're asking. I had someone message me and ask, how many people are supposed to show up live, or how many do show up live, and what is it? It all depends. Did you give them a compelling reason that they should give you their time, their most precious asset? The attractor factor is not a title or a topic. It's the intersection of what you know and what they desperately need and what is happening in their world right now. Okay. It's what I call being incongruence with your market. If you are not in the operating reality with your current ideal client and what they're dealing with right now, you are not being incongruent with your market. If you are not in the DMs talking to your customers, welcoming new followers, all of you got a welcome message from my virtual assistant Nipuni, and then either me coming in when you answer it or me coming to say hi. If you are not talking to your new followers, your new subscribers, you are operating in a silo. In a business that operates in a silo does not grow. I grew up on a farm. There's silos. We filled them up with corn. We don't go down in the silos because there's no oxygen in there, right? When you operate your business in a silo, it does not grow. It dies slowly. When is the last time you DM'd a new follower and had a real conversation with someone in your market and let them respond? I'll wait. When was the last time? Drop in the chat. Let me know. Hi, Renee. When was the last time that you had a real conversation with someone that just started following you? You can't operate your business in a silo. Activation events allow you to activate your people. They raise their hand and say, "Yes, this is me. I want this thing." And then it brings you the ability to have a conversation with that person. All right? That allows them to respond. Okay. When I do see some of you going live, some of you, or I don't see it all because, and some of you are new to me, but when I go into social media and I see people hopping live, I was like, a week ago? Okay, great. I'm not consistent for sure. Yep. Okay. Consistency, the follow up you're going to get, how I follow up, the 48-hour follow-up system, you're going to get in activation events that sell, and how I follow up and how I have a conversation with people that lead them into a sale. When I see some people going live, we're still on number one here, the attractor factor. Let me move this up a little bit. Um, they're just going live. I see lives with no titles, nothing. Like, why do you want me to stop and listen? And when I do, it's 5 minutes before they even get into the thing they're supposed to be talking about. You went live without a attractor factor. Plus, you're going too broad. You're trying to teach the whole framework in 20 minutes. People don't want a library. They want a band-aid. Okay? They want a band-aid. You need a micro topic. And we talked about this last week. You want a micro topic, one specific thing they're bleeding from right now. What is that hair on the problem solution or problem they have, and that solution you have? Broad in 2026 and beyond is boring. We're overwhelmed. We have way too much going on. And if you give us everything, we're out. Okay. One micro topic, one hair on the problem. They want hair on fire problem they want solved now. And that transformation. Micro is where the money is. And when you nail the attractor factor, you'll no longer talking to dead air. You're talking directly to the person who needs the thing and buy from you today. Point two, the 3 yeses. This is closing the belief gap, okay? And you can do this in 60 minutes or less. Your level 10 ideal client doesn't need 15 nurture emails. A level 10 ideal client is someone that's ready to buy. And the only question they have is your solution going to work for me? And is it the right solution for me? 3 yeses, closing the belief gap. These 3 yeses have to happen before someone buy from you on live. I call them the 3 Ps: pricing, packaging, and positioning. Everyone say that with me. Pricing, packaging, positioning. Most of you are pitching the wrong offer the wrong way. You're asking for a marriage proposal, a 5K intensive on the first date, or on a 10-minute live, or on what I call a light activation event. No one's going to buy a 5K offer in 60 minutes. Not anymore today because of the trust recession. The buying decision's longer. But how you use these activation events and create trust shrinks that. But you need to know what your trust pathway offer is to a 5K intensive or a 5K offer or even a 2 or 3K offer. Okay. Most of you are pitching the wrong offer in the wrong way, asking for a marriage proposal on a first date, right? Asking for 5K on a 30-minute session without shifting their belief first. The offer has to be designed for live conversion. Okay. Live conversion. If the 3 Ps aren't aligned, they'll give you a like, yeah, but they're not going to give you a yes. Okay. And activations events that sell that I'm hosting next Wednesday, you will learn what type of trust pathway you should be offering and how to position it in a way that creates a easy yes. Yeah, I need this thing, depending on what type of activation event you're going to choose to run. Okay. And for those, hi, Sheree. And for those of you, I'm going to drop the link in here again for those of you that got on late because there's only a few spots left. If you can still place an order, we still have spots left. I'm making the activation events that sell a small, intimate group so I can go deep with each and every single one of you and learn about your businesses and help you create a trust pathway offer, customizable offers if you don't have one yet. All right. And it's only $397. If you are a member of the Kingdom Lens, if you've upgraded, you can go to the Kingdom Lens chat and scroll up, and there's a $100 off coupon you can get in today for only $297. Like I said, the price was supposed to be increasing, but that's on me. We didn't get it done. So you still can get in at the $397 if you're not a paid member, $297 if you are, and the price is going up to $497 on Sunday evening. All right. So I dropped that back in the chat. Let's see. We are on the easy yes. So let me go back to my notes here. Activation events that sell on Wednesday, you're going to learn how to make a customizable offer based off from your activation event. This is an example. I think they call it going meta or something. This is an example of an activation event, but I've lined this up over the past couple weeks. I've hosted activation events, live events that are repeatable, simple, that's going deep on a micro topic of live selling and making you an offer. Okay. I help people all the way from starting a business to having a successful business. You know that there's offer clarity, ideal client clarity, lead generation. There's all of that. I'm giving you everything in the kitchen sink. I'm telling you how you can create consistent, impactful revenue simply by hosting activation events. That's what I've been focusing on. So take it and learn from me. Point 3, you don't have the before, the during, and the after trifecta. Okay, closing the conversation gap. So the first one closes that belief gap. The third one closes the conversation gap. And here's the thing that no one tells you. The live stream itself is only 1/3 of the conversion system, not conversation system. The live stream is only one-third of it, of the conversion system. There's a complete activation conversion system that converts your people. And if you're not using the trifecta, you're leaving 50% of the money on the table. Okay. You have the before, how to invite them, how to prime those lurkers. You have the during, how you structure the activation event so the value and the offer work together. And then you have the offer, the 48-hour follow-up system that converts hand raisers into paid clients. It's not complicated at all. I have a 1-page template. It's not complicated. The problem is that we think we have to do all these things and have these huge live launches, and you don't need to do that. Okay. If you're only focused on the live itself, I'm going to repeat that again. you're leaving money on the table. There needs to be a 48-hour and more. I teach that through my Steward at Well Power Hour, things to do on a daily basis, but you need to have a follow-up system. The before, the during, and after trifecta. Okay. And the tech setup and tools, how you can simplify that, and the repurposing that sells, we're going to go into that more on May 6th, Wednesday, May 6th. I keep saying Tuesday, Wednesday, May 6th, Wednesday, May 6th. Okay. I can give you the what in 30 minutes. Okay. But, and I kind of just did that. And if you go back and you want to binge everything that I've been doing in April, you're more than welcome to. But I'm going to give you the how, and we're going to get it done in 3 hours or less on Wednesday, May 6th. I'm hosting a deep dive intensive called Activation Events That Sell. So it's not an overview. This is the installation day. Okay. You're going to leave with your first activation event built out, ready to run. You're going to understand the step-by-step system. We'll map out your micro topic formula. Okay. So you never talk to no one again. We'll build your trust pathway offer, knowing exactly when to pitch that $97 offer versus a $3K transformational based offer. Okay. And I'm handing you the 48 follow-up script. The system, the conversations and system, you can turn the one word keyword marketing, the one word keyword activation. Remember, activate your people. How you can turn that comment into a sale without feeling like a telemarketer. I used to be a telemarketer in college. Some of you don't know that. I think that's why I was afraid to get on camera and sell, but it was the way that I made some extra money via a telemarketer. And I got told no a lot. And I got hung up on a lot. And I got called some bad words a lot. But that's okay. That makes us stronger, that tough skin, right? So come join us. Do you use paid ads anywhere? Not really. I try to dabble with them, but I don't. Especially, actually, let me finish this and I'll go through some questions. So I want to remind you the set it and forget it era is dead. Faceless marketing is no longer the name of the game. It never was. It was a tool that the enemy used to make you play small, to not use your voice, and your voice has power. You are created in the image of your heavenly Father. He spoke the world into existence. Go back to Tuesday's article that I posted. It was powerful. I mean, the Holy Spirit just was bubbling some things up inside of me, and I was mad. I'm mad that we're not kingdom women and men, but kingdom women in the online business aren't leading. You're not at the forefront of your industry. And when you're not doing that, when you're hiding behind an email and you're not activating your people and leading them to the sale, because my friends, the transformation happens on the other side of that paywall. The deep, deep work you do with your people is on the other side of that paywall. And people don't value free. Stop giving away your stuff for free. They don't value free. You're doing your people a disservice giving away everything for free. Because as soon as someone decides to make a transfer, pay you money, energy, something for a value that you're going to be giving them, which is energy transformation, they up-level themselves. And you're stealing that from them. So stop doing that. Okay. And you can do it in a way that's fun. I love these things, fun and adding value. So the set it and forget it era is dead, but the show up and serve era is the most profitable time for kingdom women today. As long as you have a system that allows you to do it repeatably, consistently, and adding value and being a blessing. All right. So the link to join the May 6th intensive is in the chat. I'll drop it again. Hi, Jen. It's $397 for the full experience. If you are a member of the Kingdom Lens, it's $297. You have a coupon in the Kingdom Lens chat. And the price is going up Sunday. It was supposed to go up on the 29th, but we totally forgot around here with everything going on. So here's my challenge to you. You didn't land on this training by accident, and God doesn't waste proximity. You need to get in proximity with your people, and you're here because you're ready to stop being a ghost behind those emails and start being a leader in your space. And the question isn't whether or not activation events work. and selling to your people work? Because it does, and I proved this to myself in 2025, like I talked about earlier. The question is, are you gonna be the person who finally follows a system and a process and allow it to make it work for you, okay? Allow it to make it work for you. So, hopefully, I'll see all of you, most of you, whoever can get in until it's like we're capping it, I think at 8 or 9. I'll see you on May 6th. So let's build your sales activation event flywheel together. I'll drop the link in here again. Aw, thank you, Jen. She said, if you haven't worked with Kristin yet, now's the time. Aw, I love you, Jen. And if you guys want to have a powerful podcast, Jen Rogers is your girl. Oh my goodness. I've learned so much from her. Hi, Molly. Oh, Karen, thank you. Kristen's great. She's helped me so much in 2025. Aw, look at all of you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, do I do ads? I've dabbled in ads here and there, but it is not, oh my goodness, thank you, Karen. It is not something that I teach. And I don't teach it because in order for ads to work, one, you have to have an offer that converts and a messaging that leads to that offer and that converts. So you need to have a messaging that converts and an offer that converts, a messaging that leads to that offer. If you don't have any of those, running ads isn't going to help you. And you also have to have that customer journey mapped out to pull those people through your mid or high ticket, whatever that looks like. And most women that I work with are those that have not seen consistent 5K, those 4-figure months yet, right? That lead to those are the foundations of those 10K months that allow you to hit 6 and 7 figures. Most of the women I work with are those that there's leaks. Maybe they've worked with another coach, or they've been duct taping it on their own, but it's not working yet. And it's not working yet because they don't have systems and processes in place, the authority and audience building system, the sales conversion system, and the delivery and scale system, which is inside the Business by God's Design advisory. So yeah, I think that's the answer to that. I don't teach that. And I do dabble in them, but they're cold. They're cold leads. And in this day and age, the buying decision is longer, and cold leads, you need to have a fast way to make them warm and bring them into your paid product. Any other questions? Oops, I didn't drop that. Yes, I did drop it in. Did I drop it in? There's the link to the activation events that sell. And if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to message me. And if this is the first time that you have been into my world, welcome. I'm so thankful that you are here. Go back to the Kingdom Lens, the publication, and scroll down a little bit on the homepage, and you'll see the Be a Human First framework that I talked about all of April and taught you why the market has shifted. We moved from mass marketing. We're more moving into the relationship-based marketing era, where the Be a Human First is more important than ever. Why you need to pull this growth lever of live selling and activation events, because it's going to explode your business. Every time I did it in 2025, sales came in. It was the highest revenue generating year. And like I mentioned earlier, Q1 and Q2 of 2026 is blowing the doors off any year to date. I'm scheduled, if this keeps going, to hit 6 figures in 2026. And that's freaking exciting. And I want each and every one of you to come along with me. Any other questions? I don't think so. So I pray that, if this is for you, if you have been going live, but you haven't been getting the results that you want, come into the activation events that sell intensive on May 6th, because you're going to learn this simple system that allows you to take those 5 steps that I gave you, creating the attractor factor to attracting your right people. And that answers the question of why I should give you 30 to 60 minutes of my precious time. The 3 yes principle, how to select an offer that meets the pricing, the packaging, and the positioning, what to do before, during, and after the event, and how I use these simple setup tools from Substack. And even if you don't want to use Substack, how I use simple setup tools from Zoom and use to stream into my Facebook community and how to repurpose these events so that you can bring more people into your world. So come join me on May 6th. Let me double check, see if there's any other questions. Oh, thank you. All right. Once this is up, you will have it in the replay section as well as the teaching tool that I gave you. All right. Be blessed.